So one of the best part is once you learned, and it doesn't end over there. Like it's not like you do a 6 months course and it stops. So the lifelong opportunity of placement assistance is, I would say, a jewel in the crown. I am a good volleyball player. I love playing volleyball, and in college I used to play very regularly. But after college, kind of the momentum was not there after the college. So it has pretty much been a busy work, not much, not much team. But in Sapient, in the first company, we used to have some teams and we used to play it somewhat, not on a regular basis, somewhat monthly, once or twice. In college, but I used to play it regularly. And one more thing, I love playing poker. So I play poker almost regularly with my friends. I currently work in a WeWork office. I think it is the safest place to be. It's very well sanitized
Yes,
every
and I
day,
guess
and they take huge precautions, masks, temperature checks, everyday sanitization. So the workplace is absolutely good. This is the best place. If the cases are getting too much and the travel is getting too much, we kind of stop it and we do work from home. But I stay
right.
very nearby to the office. I just walk to the office, so not an issue for me. I had to give the CFA exam last June, but as you know, the COVID kind of stopped my plan to write it. So it got postponed to December, and then later it was postponed to this May, level 2. So I'll be writing it in this May. So before getting the offer over here, I actually kind of quit the job, quit my last job, and that too, I quit the job in February end, which was like very, very, very bad time to do that. Later, I realized it was a bad time to do it, but I just wanted to properly go into this field. Like it was now or never. It's already been two, 3 years, and I wanted to get into this field. I just knew that I wanted to work in this field. End of story. So I just resigned my job and later started searching for it aggressively. I applied for a few, but a lot of firms. I mean, a lot of the jobs that I applied for, I was not receiving any feedback because that is understandable due to the COVID pandemic. So over the time, like after 1 or 2 months in these applications, jobs searching, it was a bit frustrating. But I knew that I got another offers in tech to work in technology or to work in the same field, but I kind of I passed those offers. I didn't really want to go into the technology against only technology or on the previous job profile. So this is where I wanted to work, and even though it was frustrating, I just kind of went ahead. I should have, I was hoping like if not today, tomorrow. That was the basic funda. If I don't get it today, tomorrow I may get it, and the next day until I got a few offers, and then the Curl Capital gave me an offer which I can't reject. So, as I said, this interest started in the fourth year. So, at the 2000, the markets were trending up heavily. It was a pure bull market. So that time, it was the news is everywhere. Basically, wherever I see, wherever whatever news I follow, it was always the stock is rising up, rising up, rising up. So obviously, like I was interested of how it is happening. What is happening, and people are making money. We are in this. Everyone is doing a job to make money. That is like one of the biggest reason I would say. So obviously, that got me interested, and I started to search more and more about how to invest, what to invest. I started on Zero. The education part is there, so I don't remember the name, but that was my initial, just a fundamental thing to read about what is a future or what is an option or what is a stock and how it goes. So that was a starting point, and later once I into it, I was from a computer science background, so I obviously didn't want to sit there and monitor each one of the stock. So I want something to be automated, and it was already there. The field is already there. So I pretty much easily connected. Like from here to there, that was a step that didn't need much thought. as I was from computer science background and I was interested in finance. So you need a way. I mean, both are combined. Basically, algo trading is. That's what I believe algo trading is with some mathematics. So it didn't take much of a thought to check for the algo trading site. So I came to it and then started how to actually how it actually works, how the algo trading actually works. And after a few, I mean, 1 or 2 months of searching here and there and learning something, I came to the EPAT course, which was like offering me a whole package of from the basic to the end part. It was offering me a whole structured view. So I just grabbed it. So I just grabbed it and entered the course, did that, and then kind of it went on from there. What I believe is computer science, whatever you learn in the engineering, is basically I would say a tool. You can either apply it. You can either apply it in finance, or you can apply it in the medical fields, or you can apply it in the web designing. But anywhere, like it's a tool, you can apply it anywhere you want. But because most of the, I mean, a lot of companies are into technology or into that side, computer science, I don't know. I mean, if I say I did computer science, people are expecting me to do a software job because that's where it is mostly
Right.
focused on. But the same thing, that is a tool which can be applied to finance as well. So it kind of, I don't know, that is it. Basically, computer science for me is a tool wherein you can apply it anywhere. And I like finance, so I chose to apply it over in the finance domain. So it is definitely a challenge to learn, and that's what keeps it interesting. And if there is no challenge, you'll get bored. And being in the market, you will always be, there will always be new things to find on. Like today you learn something, tomorrow you might learn another thing. So the learning never stops in this field. This is what I believe, and this is also one of the reason I like this field much. Even if I, after 10 years, even after 10 years long down the line, if I'm still working on the market, still I'll have new things to learn. So it keeps the life interesting as well. Currently it's a firm side, right? So currently my work involves developing strategies, backtesting them, and getting the approval for paper trading. We put it on paper trade. If they do good, we put it on live markets.
Okay, so what is your trading style, and are you trading like a full time or part time?
So it's a full-time job. So the job itself is a full-time opportunity. So my whole day involves researching for strategies and developing them and testing them over over some years of data. So I would say basically full-time. It's a full-time job.
Right, right. So,
So I don't trade
Srinivas, like,
currently. Yeah, yeah. Please go.
yeah, yeah, you were just saying. Sorry, I stopped you.
No, no. So when I say trading, I mean we don't do manual trading. So it's completely algo trading. The firm itself, like we're a startup, and all our jobs include researching for strategies, testing them, deploying them. So this is a regular day in day out process. So we do this every day. This field, I think there is no structured way. If I go for, so just for an example, if I want to learn C++ or if I want to learn web technologies, you can see hundreds of courses over there, and even free tutorials will be there. But when you come into this field, you have very different chunks of it. But there is, I don't think there is any structure. There is any course which is offering a structured way of going. I mean, uh, going to learn this algo trading side. Suppose I started with Zerodha. Over there, it was a free PDF kind of things wherein they teach you what the basics is. But only it is up to that. They teach you what is. I mean, not even teaching. It's a free resource. It's a PDF. You can read about just what a future is and everything. But it stops at that. Now I have to go to another resource and search for the next step. So first of all, I don't even know what the next step is. I mean, once I know once I understand what is a future, what is an option, and all this, the next step, I have to search for the next step. I have to first categorize the next step and then search for that. Even after I categorize it, it is difficult to find it. Coming to the EPAT, uh, it was offered in a so structured format. You started this, you started a basic thing. What is a future or what is an option? then you move on to the strategy, then you move on to the examples. I mean, what is a move? I mean, kind of example strategies like moving average strategy, and then later next step, and then what are the new introductions into this field? Like how is AML helping in this field? So everything goes on step by steps along with the statistics. I mean, so yeah, exactly. That part was also the best one. So since I'm from computer science background, like I have a pretty much good idea about math. But for someone who is coming from, let's say, I don't know, commerce or some non-mathematical or non-STEM backgrounds, the statistics they wouldn't have dealt with statistics or maths much. And over here, you have the statistics courses as well, wherein they start from this basic statistics, basic introduction of the finance side. You go with the Excel next, and then go with the Python, and then next coming to the AML part as well. So this is like, a staircase. Seriously, I mean, first it's a clean staircase to learn to get into this field. So this is how it EPAT helped me. No one referred me to this, but that was completely up to my. I mean, I was very enthusiastic in that fourth year, and I had a lot of free time because it's my last year of the college, and I was searching heavily in the. I was just browsing every link that I get, everything I get. I was just going through it because I had a lot of free time, and then I got, just some randomly searching. I had, a few courses listed over there, and then I came to the EPAT. Then I compared, and it was the best thing that. Best course that I could find. So it was just through
Well,
random searching.
well,
Not random, I
just
would say, but aggressive searching. So my whole opinion is that no one will give you strategies. That is for sure. It's not like you join in EPAT and expect to be a trader on the next day. It equips you with all the tools that you can use, you can learn, and I mean, basically, it is giving you all the tools. You have to make it right. You have to test it. You have to use them, and then you get a good one. It's not like we join the EPAT and on the next day you're a trader. It's a systematic way wherein you're thinking and wherein so basically you're thinking, your way of writing it. I mean, your way of testing the codes. So everything is kind of a process. So it's all about I mean, for me, it's all about the process. If you stick to that process and go ahead, you're going to end up with finding some good strategies. They are not like some random, I mean, out of the blue. There is no, I don't think there is any strategy that came just out of the blue. It's just a process. What you start with the small things, you fine tune it, you do that. So this process is what EPAT teaches. So after 3 years, like I wanted to get into the actual part of trading through the job postings that were shared with me by the placement team. I got into two firms. One was a very early stage startup, which I passed out, which I passed the offer, and later I got the Curl opportunity to work with Curl Capital, and this is a really good company run by some very I mean, industry leaders in this field. So I just jumped at the opportunity to work over here. Currently, my work involves basically developing strategies that can actually go into the live market. So basically, my role over here is a junior algo trading strategist. So my work involves developing strategies that can actually go into the market and make money. I mean, wherein you can put my actual money on that. So I'm pretty much involved in the markets right now, and this is kind of a very very great experience. This is what I wanted, and I basically got it. So I'm pretty happy with the job right now. I would like to say one of the best part about so one of the best part is once you learned, and it doesn't end over there. Like it's not like you do a 6 months course and it stops. So the lifelong opportunity of placement assistance is, I would say, a crown. I mean, a jewel in the crown. The first time I got an offer, I mean, the job. How do you put it? Like, so the job mail, the email that I got, there is a open position. The job position, it was sent to me. Then later, when I called, there's a quick answer, and then they guided me and even asked me, that, I mean, even told me that this is a better looking template for the resume as well. Right from starting from the resume creation to the process wherein you have to refresh a few topics, right? Even for the you have to refresh the topics. So I don't remember the name, I'm sorry, who guided me in that time, but
Mhm.
so they guided me on resume template creation, as well as they shared me a few links wherein you can go through the basics and refresh your knowledge on Python and stats, basically, and then go for the interview. So basically, it sets the process also sets you up for the interview as well. The refreshing course, basically, before the interview, just so that you will be clear on the basics. And once you share with them, and later you don't know, like most of the times you apply and you don't know the progress on the application. Once you submit, you're in the blind with other portals. But over here, like when I call, they'll just give out the dates, like on this day your resume is selected or it is not selected, and you have an interview on this date. It's like organized, basically. Now if I go and apply in a company's website, I don't know, I mean, I'll be in the blind. Like once I apply on any company's website directly, once I apply, I don't know how the progress is going for a lot of companies, not everyone, but for a lot. Over here, that was not there. It was smooth, the process. So it's actually pretty good.
And did you go through any mock preparations or interviews pertaining to that?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. Like there were a few videos, like the refreshing courses on Python and the stat on interview questions. So
Okay.
they shared the links to me, and then I went through it before the interview to refresh my basics. Then I gave the interview. So the mock interview, I haven't attended. I'm not sure whether it is there or not. Maybe it was offered, but I haven't attended the mock interview. But they guided me on which topics to stress, which topics to focus, and they shared the pertaining, I mean, relevant videos as well to help out. With respect to the job searching, the placement team is extremely good. The even the jobs. I mean, I used to get the notifications of jobs from QuantInsti like almost weekly. Weekly, at least 2 or 3 job postings I used to get. And when I see that, I mean, all not all of them are relevant, but still, yes. What I can see is they're either for freshers, it is there, and 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, up to 10 years experience easily was also there. So it is for a mix of people. So almost everyone will be getting somewhat help from. Not even some. I mean, everyone is getting help from the placement team. So yeah, it was good. It's really good.
Right. And I'm sure that the opportunities must have been not only from India, but from abroad as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, actually, that is there. So I've seen the offers from Singapore and few other countries. Uh, I'm not sure about Malaysia, but I just remember the Singapore part because I applied for it, but unfortunately my resume didn't get picked out. But yes, that is also a very good part from getting offers from other countries, staying in India. And so I don't have very much experience in that field, but my 2 cents are a lot of people instead of applying instead of directly just applying like how they apply for another tech jobs, they wait because they don't know finance. They don't know the finance knowledge. They don't have the finance knowledge. So most of the people, it will be. I mean, is a that is an obstacle for them, to apply. But if you get into any interview, the finance stuff will act like a bonus. I mean, it's not more about the financial knowledge. Yes, it should be there, but the main focus will be on math and coding, which from an engineering background will most of them will be good at. So my only thing is once first, I mean, just you have to apply it first. You just have to know some good basics on the finance, the rest of it is already covered. You just have to first apply. I mean, a lot of people stop applying because they don't know the finance. They want to get into it, but just because they don't know finance, they kind of limit themselves without applying. I mean, without giving it a try. So if you try it, chances are, you're gonna get it.